Hi all, Hal here with More Space Engineers, and today we are going to be talking about airlocks. Now, I've had a couple of people ask, why do I still build manual airlocks or even automatic airlocks when there's a lot of really good mods out there that will either take over the functionality for you or completely remove the need for the functionality. One of the blocks being the rotary airlock doors, and I've used them before on the channel a couple of seasons ago, actually, at this point. And I really do like them because of the fact that they take away some of the tediousness of building stuff. Also dealing with airlocks and space engineers, because, you know, the whole point of the airlock is to keep the atmosphere in the envelope and not out into the void. So, yeah. Alright, so we made a few changes to the base in preparation of this. The last time we were together, I put in this upper hallway, and now we actually have a area over here, which is where we're going to do have like a little seating area. Then we've gone ahead and taken out the space over behind the other two observatory style locations. And then that's just to get ready for basically duplicating what we have over here. So what we'll end up with is a mirror of what we have here over on that side. And then on that one, I think we're actually going to use that as a secondary operations area. So we'll have flight ops up there, and then we'll have hangar operations probably in there. And the reason for that being is that it is splitting the space between the three hangar spaces. So it gives you a little bit better control and visibility on what's going on in the various areas. And that way we can have that be where everything kind of comes together. Then you basically move from there through one of the hangars over here and then come through. But we will actually have the option to have it come up through that hallway, and I think what we're going to end up with is just a service corridor that goes down under the hangar, comes back through here, so that if you want to be over in the observation area, you can. If you don't want to be in the observation area, you'll be able to come down through this hallway area on the back side of these doors, which, you know, still hasn't been emptied yet, but this will connect up into that space, and then that way we basically will have an area where, you know, for the folks that want to do RP stuff, the base, this entire save will be uploaded at the end, and so you'll be able to come through, use the base, and, you know, have some fun with your friends. Alright, so let's talk about the hangars, and specifically the airlocks. Alright, so basically what I do with airlocks, and we're going to go ahead and turn these off so we don't have to worry about them, but they will end up being in what we're going to do. So part of the reason why I've been hollowing all this out is, well, back here I'm going to put in our computer area. So we'll end up with a few programmable blocks in here running some of our systems for us. So if you remember, we have a programmable block up in the surface hab where we have the upper landing area. And what I want to do is put something a little bit more formal in as far as computer area is concerned. Because, well, we kind of need one. Alright, and I think we're going to go with that. See if we can hit this from the side so we don't destroy blocks. There we go. How many plates do I have? I don't have a whole lot in the way of plates, so what is on the back side of that? You. Okay. So if we're going to do that, let's go something like that. There. Something like that. You are on the exterior face, yes? Yes. are you? So if we then do this, and we repeat that there, should be able to, whoa, hello. Oh, thought I had more blocks on this side. Alright, well, like I said, this is going to be the lower observation area, upper observation area, and then the utility hangar, the 2 utility hangars and the shipyard hangar. And looking from the exterior, all of this looks good. Okay. So you can't tell we did any finagling back here behind the scenes. I have no. Let's go ahead and load you up. Have to grab some plates. Okay, so. But yeah, so what we're going to do is let's grab some plates. Let's grab like 1,000 of them. May as well have them because we're going to use them anyway. And there we go. Okay, so get the rest of this welded in. And I want to have enough room for at least 2 programmable blocks down here, which is why we've got some of this space set off. Let's go here. Get rid of the passageways for now. So we're going to put you guys there. And then I'm thinking put a couple in for future expansion. And this is going to be wall here, so we need to bring this out a little bit. Now this entire area down here will be in the atmospheric envelope at some point. So I'm not too worried about having it vented. Honestly, having it unvented helps keep people from hiding in there for too long. So we'll go ahead and take most of that out there. There we go. And we're going to go just to make sure all of this is tied together. And I may come back and make this a little bit wider. At the very least, we're going to end up with, if we do half walls here, I'd have to do that to at least there. So if we then go, just trying to figure out our angles here. And you guys would go like that. See how that looks. Alright, that should work. Alright, so let's get rid of this stuff really quick. And now I know everybody's going, what does all of this have to do with anything with airlocks? Well, we're going to actually use some programmable blocks. We're going to actually have a couple of timer blocks. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do 2 different airlock sets. I'm going to use one of them being an automatic airlock. Throw a couple of timers in.
Energy low.
Let's see here. But yeah, so we'll use a couple of different methods of putting an airlock in. We're going to have the automatics. We're going to have a script control. I should say we're going to have a timer control, a script control, and then the manuals. Manual airlocks we've pretty much got set up in a couple of different places at this point. Excuse me. Programmable. And then what we're going to try and do, and I don't know if we'll actually need all of those, but it's nice to have them just in case. And then for you, we can do something like that. Hides the little voxel. I'll probably come back and grind all of that out. All right, so I don't have anything in here. So let's go ahead and grab this and grab this. And you know what? Let's go like that. And like I said, we will come back through all of this and get it all welded up. But what I'm just trying to do right now is just make it usable. Just a little bit usable. Alright, so I need to go grab some power. And we'll need much. I need enough to be able to do this really quick. Alright. We'll sit here for a second while we recharge. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is I've already set up a couple of manual airlocks throughout the base. You've seen those. The most simple version of them is the two doors basically sharing a face. So you can get away with that with the offset doors and the double doors. You can get away with that with two sliding doors. You just have to remember that Space Engineers is weird in how it calculates O2 and box collision. So what will happen is that sometimes when you have an airlock set up like this, where you have an offset door facing a sliding door, you'll lose air pressure. And sometimes you won't. So what I always try to do is for these particular types of airlocks, I always try to put full blocks all the way around both of the door sets. It just helps Space Engineers with the way that it's calculating, and I tend to get less air loss that way. But like you saw in the upper hab, I don't have I think the sliding door fully encased on that one. So you know, like I said, your mileage may vary and depends on your luck. So. As you can see, very simple manual airlock, and that's why I configure those the way I do. Now, the next type of airlock that we can put in is one based off of the timing blocks. So you can actually get, let's see, and we'll weld one of you up because you're going to be next. All right, so we come into the timing blocks. Now what you can do is set a timing block up to say when you hit a button, the timing block will go, it'll start counting. At the end of its time, it will activate whatever you told it to activate. So if you told it to say set an air conveyor or one of your vents to depressurize, you hit the button, you set your time limit. You set your time limit, hit the button, and when the time limit goes, it'll switch your air vent to depressurize. And then you set up a second timer to reverse that. So when you hit button 1, it triggers timer 1, which, after countdown, depressurizes the room. Hit button 2, after that countdown, it repressurizes the room. You can use combinations of things in the timing blocks and with multiple timing blocks to set up complete sequences where you push a button, it closes all the doors, right? As part of the depressurization. You can even have timing blocks daisy chained together so you can hit the button. That starts the first timing block, gives you, say, like 3-second warning, and you may have lights associated to it. Then it triggers the second timing block, which then sets your vent to depressurize, right? And then that second one may hit a third timing block, which after the duration, you basically set it for whatever the total value is of the other 2 timing blocks plus any wait period you want. And then when it goes, it opens the external facing door. And then as part of all of that, you could even have that last one turn off the other doors, so that while that door is open, you can't do anything. You know, you have to go in and go through the control panels to override stuff. And then you have a second button that basically reverses that. So it just depends on how you want to do things and daisy chain them. And are you are, did I put a timing block there? I did put a timing block there. Okay. So let's take a U out, grab you. That should be 4 timing blocks, 3 timing blocks. Okay. And we'll show you what we're talking about here. There you go. Because that is a much more complex version of the airlocks that you can do. And so we have 4 timing blocks, and we're going to call this one Airlock Timer 1. And let's do this, shall we? You're going to be Airlock Timer 2. And I always recommend naming these things something that you can relate to very quickly. Because it will help you figure out where things are and exactly where things break, if in the case, you know, something blows up. And so that's 4 timing blocks, 4 programming blocks. I'm not too worried about those for right now. What we're going to do is we are going to grab, I want you, because I've already named you. And we are going to you are, let's see, silo, floor level hallway. We want just silo hallway. Airlock door. One, okay. And you are going to be airlock door 2. And you will be silo hallway. What do we want to call that other side? Let's call you maintenance. And you're going to be door 2. Yeah, like I said, feel free to do this however you see fit. I'm just giving recommendations. All right. There you go. Okay. Come here. Thank you. And now we'll turn those blocks off. And now we're going to come over here. We're going to grab all those doors that we just did. So all of you guys, you should be 5, yes. Silo airlock. Hallway. That's going to be, we're going to call that doors. And then this is going to allow us to have all sorts of fun. Okay, so Actually, we don't want you in there. So what do we call this? Hallways. Airlock doors. Right. There we go. All right, so now for this, we can say, don't want to see them in the toolbar, don't want to see them in the terminal. Because for the most part, these are now going to get controlled by some stuff. Okay. Now we want to go into our timer. We're going to say in here, we're going to set up actions. Actually, let's set you for 3 seconds. Set up actions. It's going to be groups. We want, there we go. Lower hangar doors. And we want that to be forced closed. We want all of those doors closed. And we are going to have it go to timer 2. And that'll be trigger now. Right? Okay. Okay, so we're going to go into air block timer 2. We're going to have it, we want this to be siloed. We're looking for you. We'll have it toggle the block on. Actually, let's do remove. We'll have you just open the door. All right, we're going to set you for 5 seconds. So timer 1, before we forget. Did I name that air vent? Oh. Nope. All right. Airlock vent. Okay. Now we can go into the timing block. See, this is why I was saying, if you're going to do like the complex things like this, the process itself is actually really easy. But what you end up with is things are going to get really convoluted very quickly and very easily if you're not staying on top of the naming aspect. And we want silo air vent. To be depressurize on. Okay, so when you hit the button, the timers, we're going to have the timer trigger. When the timer starts counting down, it'll do its 3-second countdown. It will close all of the hangar doors, the 4 doors at either end. If they're, no matter what state they're in, it'll try to close them. It'll depressurize. It'll set the vent to depressurize. And then that'll trigger, and at the same time it'll trigger block 2, which will power on and open this door, in theory. Right? So let's go into timer 2. Set up actions. You are opening. Okay, so we're going to actually have you toggle block on. And open. All right. So now we're going to set you up for timer block 1. And So if we give this a quick test, you're going to be open, we're going to close you, and you're going to be turned off. All right, so now if we hit this, so we told it to trigger now, so it's actually activating and everything else worked. Okay. So we need to change that to start. All right. So we need to go there. And one of the other things we want to do is timer block 1. And it's going to be silo doors. Now, in older versions of Space Engineers, you used to actually have, and you still do in the current version, you can actually do, just like any other hotbar, you have multiple bars of things that you can do. And what you used to be able to do, and we're going to try this, have toggle blocks off. Let's go grab some power really quick. But it used to be that what Space Engineers would do is when you started a timing block, when the timer block went active, it would do everything in the first row, right? Then it would do everything in the second row. So what you'd be able to do is stack commands, so you could have it be open or close a door and then turn the door off. And then you could have it turn the door back on again if you want it to, you know? It's like, so you could have things, you could have very, very complex workflows in a single timer block. Now, over the years, timer blocks have gone through some, let's call them unfortunate changes. There's been times when there'd be conflicts in logic. It basically has to do with the way that Space Engineers works with your computer to process all of these side commands. But if we go like that, should be 2, 3. Yeah, see, it doesn't turn them off. It doesn't do them in orders anymore. It does them all at the same time, which was what I was afraid of. Oh well. See, everything's turned off. Okay. So let's really. Right. And we turn you back on. See, it sets them to close. All right, so that means what we're going to need to do then is, because some of the really old builds that you'll see people, or you'll see systems that have been set up around some of this stuff. I wonder if it's dependent on which bar gets left. Let's see. So if we go 1001, 1002, 1003, yep, doesn't matter. Okay, that's what I thought. You never know. Always have to check. There you go. So what that means is we just have to then build this into timer 2, which is fine. So open those. So toggles this block on. I think what we're going to do is we'll have to remove that, and we'll have it set up so that it turns off the other doors. And in timer block 2, so it's closing them. All right, and we'll have it turn on this one. Okay, so let's close that. Turn you on. Turn you on. Okay, so you depressurize off. As you can tell, hey, look, it holds an atmosphere, and that's even better. Okay, so now when we hit the button, actually once you left open, so we hit the button, we do the 1001, 1002, 1003, but it's still not closing those doors. And, oh, it's because the other one set the trigger now. Okay, so we don't want to trigger now, we want it to start. All right, now let's try this. So you're going to be closed and off. Come on. And open. Do the same here. Okay. And if we do this, should go 1001, 1002, 1003. That's set to depressurize. This is turned on. And it opens. All right. So that gets us a working door. Right? Now, we have 4 blocks. So now what we're going to do is go into timer block 3. And this is going to be the reverse process. We want this to be 3 seconds. Set up our stuff in here. We want timer block 4 to get called at some point. We're going to tell that to start. All right. And we're going to then say we want the door that we just came through, we want that to close. And the air vent, we want to turn off the depressurize. Right? And then it'll trigger, or it'll start timer block 4. So we come back into timer block 4. And we're going to set up the actions so that we can turn on these doors. And we are going to open those doors. Actually, we need that to be, open. And make sure, yeah, come. And over here, I keep forgetting we can't stack the commands like we used to, and I keep wanting to. And we're going to have those turn those doors on. And just make sure you should be just opening those doors, yeah? Okay. Okay, so we're going to come on this side. And we want you to be block 3. And you're going to be starting. Okay. So now if we hit this, to 1001, 1002, 1003, it closes. Those doors should be open. This is pressurized. And, oh, I left it at 10 seconds. There you go. Doors open up. How's that? Now you can actually go through and set this up however you want. What I'm going to do here is, since we're not doing anything on this side right now, I don't want it just blowing out in the space here for us. So we're gonna try and get this to come here. There you go. And we'll do that. And we're going to set this as that. Okay, there we go. There you go. That way we know that that needs to come out of there. But the nice thing is that this allows us to then go ahead and finish working on this area back here. And once this is able to hold atmosphere, we'll have a full-on working system. And I didn't set it. At timer block 4, we're going to set you for 5 seconds because it's a small area. Basically, I'm just, yeah, okay. What I'm doing is I'm basically taking it, and I know it takes less than 5 seconds for it to pressurize or depressurize. You're going to be timer block off. Okay. And off. There you go. So yeah, so basically what that allowed me to do is finish building out this side, working on the observation area. Well, this will be the observation side. I'll probably end up putting in like an actual lounge area, just kind of like an expanded version of what we have up here, just something a little nicer. And then we also need to get in flight operations, which I'll probably do this off camera because it's basically just going to be doing a lot of the same things that we've already done, like with the upper hab area. It'll just be putting in some chairs, maybe doing some decoration. And what I will do is in prep of that, we'll be adding some mods. So mod list hasn't updated right now, but it will update for later. So Wednesday's mod list will probably be updated. Okay. So now programmable blocks. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Whip that made. Nope. I need to go edit. Thank you. I'm gonna browse scripts. What do you mean I don't have any scripts? Okay. There we go. Had me worried there for a minute. Air monitoring. Oh, let's see. Is there doors? Yeah, simple doors. This say. Copy to editor. So what this one does is it does a non-pressurized door management, right? So what you can do, let's copy this to editor, right? When you've got this active, it will close doors, and you can set a period of time for things like how long will it take to auto close hangar doors, regular doors, whatever. And then he did put in, or I should say they did put in a command option for you to tell it to ignore that door. You can say, I want this door to be manual, at which point the script will ignore the door. You can also set the radius from any one door to detect any door in the area to count it as part of the airlock. Now, the reason I don't generally use this in an area where I have an actual pressurized airlock, like the one we just built, is because of the fact that this script does not control the pressurization stuff. So if you're using it, you're going to lose atmosphere. It's like it should be okay in 9 out of 10 use cases. Is that there's going to be that one use case where you're going to end up depressurizing your ship or your base. It happened. It's happened to me. It generally happens. It happens around when you have multiple entrances into an airlock area. And it just kind of causes problems for you if you're trying to keep atmosphere. The script overall, though, an amazing script if you're doing back-to-back doors for your airlock controls. This is the perfect script for you, because what it does is it won't let you open the secondary door until the first door is closed, and it controls all of that for you automatically. I'll show you how that works here. Okay, it's running. And now I have it set to the default values, which is 1 block separation. So you could actually have a door a hallway and a door, and it'll detect those airlocks. So if we go, let's see. All right, so you are door controls. And this is the reason why I don't generally use it, because I have to turn this off for a second, turn that door on and close it, turn this door on and close it. And now if we go, I should have warned you ahead of time. When you go to launch the script for the first time, you may find that you're going to have doors that you can't open or close. What you want to do is make sure all of your doors are closed, then restart the script. And there you go. As you can see, the script is going okay. And so it gives you a much simpler airlock control system. So again, it just comes down to what you want to do and how you want to do things. I myself, for large areas like this, I like to have a mix of things where I have some pressurized airlock areas and some which are just airlock brakes, which are basically what you have here, where it's the two doors back to back like that. Now if we turn you on, because there's no other block here, ISIs will just keep the door closed for us. And so what I want to do is I will set you to manual. And then it takes a couple of seconds for ISIs to catch up, but if you notice, it closed all our hangar doors and everything too. So this is stuff you need to be aware of, is that one programmable block is now controlling every door on the grid. Oh. Alright, so anyway, I think that's going to do it for us here today. I want to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If so, you know the drill and the routine. Hit those likes, subscribe buttons, share it out with all your friends and family. You know, spam your loved ones and and all of your hated enemies. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we will be back here on Wednesday for more Space Engineers. And we're going to get into I think we're going to start in on the large mining build. So, or I should say the large utility craft build. We'll see how the rest of this week goes. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Hey, look, the sun's up.